Hey guys, what is up? Today we're going to talk about the movie Blackkklansman, which was directed by Spike Lee. The movie stars John David Washington as Ron Stallworth and also Adam Driver as Flip Zimmerman. And of course there's a bigger cast in this, but the movie is jam-packed with amazing talent. The story follows Ron Stallworth as he becomes the first black cop in Colorado Springs, Colorado. He is recruited to be a cop in Colorado, and as the first black cop, he wants to do something more than just paperwork around the office. When he does finally get a chance to do something outside of the office, he has to be an undercover cop, and he goes into the Black Student Union as an undercover cop, and that creates a very interesting dynamic later on because he grows this relationship with the president of the Black Student Union. The Black Student Union president is Patrice Dumas, played by Laura Harrier. Ron's next mission is to be an undercover cop for getting into the KKK. So he, along with Adam Driver's character Flip Zimmerman, they together infiltrate the KKK and run their own little investigation of what's going on with the KKK. It's interesting because Adam Driver is a white actor while John David Washington, he is a black actor. They both take on the persona of a racist white male who wants to join the KKK. The real Ron, he is on the phone the entire time. He talks to KKK members and he grows a relationship with them that way. Meanwhile, Adam Driver's job is to actually be the physical appearance of this white guy who wants to join the KKK. Both Adam Driver and John David Washington, together they infiltrate the KKK and run this private investigation into what's going on with the KKK. Are they planning something big? Are they going to make an attack on the black community or another minority? Things get really crazy. It's a cruel dynamic and it makes for some great drama there. What I find interesting in this film is the rise of a race war between the KKK and supposedly the Black Student Union. And these two opposing forces, they both seem pretty they want to fight, you know, they want to stand up for what they believe is right. The KKK members in this film are all portrayed as pretty nasty individuals. So the director does a great job making you dislike these characters, okay? I wanted karma to hit these characters really hard, and eventually it does. The wife of one of the KKK members, she is so annoying and I really dislike her, and she's the one who has to carry the bomb and do things with the bomb and try to kill the president of the Black Student Union. And that's just like, oh my gosh, but eventually she is of course arrested and turned in. Another part I like in this film is Ron's relationship with Patrice Dumas, who is the Black Student Union president, and she's played by Laura Harrier. There's a big weight on Ron's shoulders because he falls in love with this woman and he can't own up to the fact that he is an undercover cop, and he never tells Patrice that he is an undercover cop, and that is weighing down on him throughout the entire film, and of course until the end where the truth comes out and things are better, of course. But it's a pretty awkward situation that Ron is in because he worked for the cops and Patrice strongly dislikes the cops. Adam Driver's performance as Flip is really fantastic, I gotta say right now. He does a good job playing a character who is conflicted about his own heritage as a Jewish man, and now he has to go infiltrate the KKK with his black co-worker and kind of uncover crime. You know, we find out that he is out of touch with his own Jewish heritage. And of course, him being Jewish infiltrating the KKK, just because of his skin tone matches the other KKK members, it must be completely terrifying for him because the KKK still hates Jews. So he goes into the KKK trying to do a good job being a racist white, Aryan white man. And eventually he gets into the role being somebody he's not. It's cool to see Adam Driver fool everybody in the KKK, and so he can do his job, you know, and he's conflicted still about his Jewish heritage. And so now that he is infiltrating the KKK by pretending to be one and getting initiated, it's making him, of course, really thinking about his Jewish heritage. And it must have been mind-bending to be in his shoes. He does a good job after a while really adapting to the KKK members. He is able to really give off this attitude that he hates Jews, he hates blacks, he hates anybody who is not of the white Aryan race. And we can still though see that he is not completely comfortable with it. So I think think Adam Driver does a fantastic job playing an uncomfortable character and a conflicted character. Another noteworthy part of the film was the cinematography, which was done by Chase Irvin. I'm not quite sure how to pronounce his name, but I think it's Chase Irvin. Of course, I'll put all the names in the description below. There are two notable scenes in this film that really caught my attention as far as cinematography goes. First scene is when Adam Driver goes into the bar with the KKK members and he meets all of them, and it's an awesome scene. Like, just the way it is framed and the composition is amazing. We have great shades of reds and greens and some blues mixed in there with the greens. And with the pool table, it makes for a really awesome shot. Now we also see the Confederate flag in the background, so it sets up that this is a very racist bar with KKK members just hanging out there. The scene is really dark and gloomy as well, and the reds bring out a devilish or a dark mood. Another awesome scene, the way it was shot, was when all the KKK members, or some of the KKK members, were getting initiated. And Topher Grace's character, he plays David Duke, the president of the National KKK, I guess, something like that. And that initiation scene where they're all wearing the hoods and stuff, the scene was really freaky. It was shot in a really freaky way. I think that's to do with the lighting as well. I also just appreciate the building that this was shot in. The walls in this scene really contributed to the feel of the KKK in a way. It made it feel like it was evil and dark and old. So my only problem with the film that I had was that Adam Driver, his voice is way too low compared to John David Washington's voice. That issue also played a part in the plot, so it might have been on purpose because Adam Driver didn't really fit in with the rest of the KKK members. So I think that made it more interesting and more dramatic. It made the tension very real because the audience knows Adam Driver's voice is too low to pretend that he is John David Washington's character. So I think I just disregarded my point there, but oh well. The ending, although sad and frustrating, was brilliant. Although the investigation gets shut down, but you still get to see Ron call Topher Grace's character and say, hey dude, I'm the one you've been talking to for months now. I'm a black guy and you're racist. I just found that so funny. You know, he's talking to the president of the KKK basically and saying, screw you dude, we've been messing with you this entire time. It's awesome to see Ron reveal his true identity to the KKK leader. The real footage shown at the end of the film reminds me that racism is far from over in the United States. So for that alone, this movie is fantastic. Another great element in the film was Alec Baldwin's performance at the beginning of the film. He plays a guy who is explaining that whites and blacks cannot mix and it's bad, and he's talking about how the white Aryan race is superior to other races. It's scary, but it's also funny because we see him messing up on camera, and I think that's intentional just to show like the humor behind somebody actually thinking one race is superior to another. But it's open for interpretation. I'd like to know what you guys think about that. The balance between comedy and drama in this film is really needed. It works, you know, like the scenes that are too dark are balanced out by a comedic scene or at least bits of humor. And I think the comedy was needed to balance out some very dark moments. So yes, I'm gonna give this movie a 5 out of 5. This movie made me feel angry, it made me feel entertained. I laughed, I was stressed out, I was anxious, I was rooting for Ron and Flip, and I wanted the investigation to completely go through. I wanted all the KKK members to get thrown in jail. I wanted there to be more justice, but it's okay because there was still justice in the end. It's a wild ride in general, so appreciated that. I think this was a responsible movie to get made in 2018 because I feel like in the United States and around the world, we can't get comfortable with the idea that racism is gone because it's not. It's still here. And that found footage at the end really proved that. So thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. All right, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.